So our code over here is based on a restaurant ordering system, which allows the user to view a menu, place an order by selecting items and quantities, calculate the total bill, and decide whether they want to place another order or exit the system. So the program starts by displaying a welcome message. So it displays the menu to the customer. It takes an order by asking which item and how many they want. It then calculates and displays the total bill. Finally, it asks the user if they would want to place another order or exit. So that is how our system is going to run.
Okay, this is the beginning of our code, and I'm going to start with the header files, which are the processor directive, hash include, and we have your stdi, which is the standard input output library. These header files here tells the compiler to include this standard input output library, which is the scanf and the printf function. And this one here is for this string.h here is for manipulating string and comparing string. So in the next line we have a function which displays the menu. So we have void. This void here ensures that the function returns no value. And then we have the show menu, which is the name of the function. Then in this bracket here we have two arrays. We have the first one is the character array with the name items, and the second one is the float array with the name prices. So this one stores the prices of the menu items. This one stores the names of the menu items. Then the next line where we have a function which display a message to the customer, and the function here, this printf here is the function which that or is a function that prints output to the console. So it will print out this string here, which is welcome to the boys restaurant, which includes a new line character. It will print out welcome to the boys restaurant to the customer. And this we move to the next line, which is printf \n equal to menu here. This line here we have printf, which I just explained earlier, that it prints output to the console, and this message here will alert the customer that the menu is about to be displayed, which is the menu, which includes decorative borderline and a new line character. And when we move to the next line, we have a loop, the for loop, which iterates the block of the code. This for loop iterates the block of the code, and we have in the loop we have here int I is equal to 0. This int I is equal to 0 initialize the I value to 0. Then we have a condition here which is I is less than 5. This I plus plus is the increment. Then we have a curly bracket here where we put our statement there. So here it displays an integer, a string, and a float. And this I plus plus here is the first argument which represents the item numbers. And this item square bracket I here is the second argument which represent the item names, and these prices prices into the square bracket here I represent the prices of the item or the menu items, which is the third argument. And we move to the next line, we bring a curly bracket where our loop is closed, And then after the loop is closed, the next line we have the printf function where we displace a string here to the console, and this string here is a decorative border line with a new line character, and this line here will be printed out as an output to the console. And the next line here we have a curly bracket here where we close our function. This is where our function is closed. So what I've just explained here right now is the function that displays the menu.
Okay, so the first line for us, the line 19, sorry, the int main is the main function which allows the user to run his or her code successfully. And so the int main is the starting point of every C programming. The int, the main, the hash, the bracket, and then the open curly bracket. And so we always have to end this with a return zero, a semicolon, and then the closing curly bracket. Okay, now the next line. So we are preparing a menu like a restaurant, and we are preparing a menu, and so for that matter we have to store the items in the menu in an array. And so this is a car array, and then we are storing the fried rice, the pizza, and the rest in an array, in a car array that we have called it items. Okay, and so the next one, which is the float, the float too, we have to store the prices of those things in the menu, those meals in the menu. We have to store their prices in another array, and so that is the array that we've labeled here as the prices. And so because we are dealing with decimals, of course it's currency, and so we are dealing with decimals, we have to use the float. Yes, and so the next line over here calculates the total. It calculates the total amount of money that the guest has to pay at the end of his or her visiting to the restaurant or the dining. And so because the money is in decimals, and then the total too has to be calculated, the total of course will also be in decimals, and so we store this once again in a float. Now the int choice and then the quantity, and so this line of code helps the user to make another choice concerning the menu, and then the quantity of that choice. So for example, if the guest chooses fried rice, it would ask the guest the quantity of fried rice that he or she wants. If it's pizza, the quantity, any quantity at all, 2 3 slices of pizza, pasta, or anything else. So this line of code helps us to utilize that in the output. And then the final line declares a character array that we are calling it again. So this is a character array that we are calling it again, and then it has a size of 10. And so this line helps the guest, and so this is used to store the guest response as in a yes or no answer. So if you'd like to order again, yes, I would like to order again. No, I would not like to order again. And so this is just a line of code for that. And so yes, we continue with the coding.
So I'm the part that deals with checking if the person's input is correct or incorrect. Understand? The code that checks this is this section, which is a do while. We have a conditional statement
inside of it. We have uh, this comment, which should also help you understand. You can see it's saying breaks the loop if the choice is correct, which suggests that the loop will terminate if it is correct. Let's dive into it. We have this part which talks about int valid choice equals 0, which initializes the do while loop. So that means the valid choice is the loop control variable, which is taking care of the do while loop in general. You can see at the end here, we have something like valid choice equals 1. So let's look into that. We can see the condition inside relating to the while that says something like as exclamation mark valid choice. This part is talking about whether it's not 0. You understand? Because logical not means the opposite or simply not the given thing. So here we have 0. So this exclamation valid choice means not 0. Any number that's not 0. That's how logical not works. Logical not. Yeah. So while it's not that, you see this show menu function, and we'll see some this, which is enter item number 1 to 5. You have a scanf here, which is going to save your choice like entered from 1 to 5 inside the choice variable, which is up here. Where is it? Here, as you can see. So let's continue. We have else against the if, which talks about valid choice equaling 1. So that means if from here you should understand that the value for valid choice has been overruled or overwritten. And so at that point, the loop will automatically break. That's how it works.
Okay, so this part of the code, printf enter quantity. It prompts the user to input the quantity of the item selected, and the scanf percentage d ampersand sign quantity. This takes the user input and stores it in the integer variable scanf percentage d ampersand sign quantity. Yes, it takes the user input and stores it in the integer variable quantity. And when you come to the if statement, if quantity is less than or equal to 0, print quantity must be greater than 0. So this statement too means that if the quantity that the user input is less than or equal to 0, so let's say if the quantity is 0, it prints quantity must be greater than 0. Yes. So it means it checks if the quantity is less than 0 or equal to 0. And if the statement is true, then we print quantity must be greater than 0. So the continue statement here skips the remaining code inside the loop and starts the next iteration. Now we come to total plus equal to prices and the array choice 1 times quantity. This statement too means that if um, the quantity item selected is, let's say, 2, it multiplies by the actual price of the um, yeah, it multiplies by the actual price. And then this part to print f current total. It prints the current total for you. Yeah, so it's in Ghana cedis, so it prints Ghana cedis and it leaves the answer, the total amount, in 2 decimal places. Since it is in decimal places, it is a float. Yeah, so it prints the total amount for you. Then you come to print f. Would you like to order anything again? So if you want to order anything again, this statement print f, would you like to order more? Yes. If yes, then you type yes. If no, then you type no.
But this scanf percentage s, since you are typing yes and it's not one character, you have to use a string. So this scanf percentage s explains why you use a string instead of a C character. Since you are typing more than one character, you have to use string instead of C.
So over here at this part of our code, we come to the end of our do while loop. So this line of code over here checks if the user types yes. Once the user types yes in the code, it allows the user to repeat the process, thereby allowing the user to make another order. But once the user types no, it closes the loop. So the next line of our code prints the final bill to the user in Ghana cedis and also leaves it in two decimal places. And now we print we thank the user for ordering. Now we return 0, we check everything is correct, and now we run our code. So over here we run the code, we see that the code runs perfectly. It displays welcome to the Boys Restaurant. It also displays the menu that we have on board to the user. Also ask the user to enter item number. So if the user wants to enter 2, then ask the user the quantity of item that they want. So you don't want 3. Then printf the current total to the user. We did this specifically for a reason. Maybe the user has 400 cedis, and maybe the user doesn't want to make it all the order. They later realize that they don't have enough money. So once you see your current total, then the next order you can limit the quantity of items that are taken. So if the user still wants to make another order, he or she needs to press yes and enter. So the system repeats itself all over again. So if the user wants to order fried rice, jollof rice, he or she enters 5, then maybe 2. So by it displays the current total, which is 361. So if the user is done ordering, he or she press no to finish their order. So by here then it prints their final bill. Then also thanks the user for making the order. So that's our code.